Where are we?
Damn, Shiro way.
Let me, oh yeah. It's probably Chirope, okay? Who has a carving? Anyway.
We have.
I mean, it's possible because it's 3 syllables. Hasawa. You know, it's when you do a ER. Anyway, I'm going to correct it to Chirope, okay? That's more standard.
I'll check. Make sure.
I'll look, Paula. You can keep doing what you're doing if you want.
Oh, I'm not going to check it now. Thank you.
Oh, I see.
Now, non-Buddhists, okay, outer ones, Nyam thinking that they must, accept some kind of self, okay? Non-Buddhists thinking that they should accept some kind of self, accept, Kelen, a self-nature to the person, meaning like a soul, okay? They accept that the person has a self, okay? But this law is a mild disjunctive, okay? Whereas the Buddhists say, now here's a hard one to translate. Dak tsam kelen, yu dak kelen. I'll give 50 cents to anybody who can translate that. You dak kelen. Yeah, nice, 50 cents.
I'm rich.
Now you're rich. Okay, Yu Dak means the self which does exist. Meaning the one that came out of an image in your mind and you put on the, that Sugang does exist, okay? We can say that's the self. In this book, it's called the simple self. Dak Tsam is a code word for Yu Dak, okay? The simple self, we accept. Nick is Nick, we accept, okay? But Yang, now here's the difficult wording. Kansaki dak kelen milen. We don't accept the accepting of a self nature to the person. Okay, and he should have said K milens period. And what he said is confusing because normally when you have kelen K milen, it means do you or don't you. So, this is a little bit difficult wording here. But given the context, here's the context. We accept a simple self, but we blank a self-nature to the person. Then it must be we don't accept. Okay? So that's where, because of context, you know what it should have been. And then you make it fit.
Usually if there's a no like that at the end, it wouldn't be a question anyway, right? Because that makes it more of a definitive.
Yeah, right. And a question wouldn't come at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I read it as Kelen, Milen.
It is, of course, a pop.
Yeah, okay, good. So the correction we made up above is correct. Is the end here correct? I mean, it's just possible that it's not. There you go. Kelen. Sure. Keep going to the end of the sentence. Mm-hmm. Keep going until you hit a slash.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Whoa. Oh, keep going to the next one.
Oh, sure. I think it's the next page. Here we go.
Here you go. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know what? It's a mistyping. Okay.
Mileno?
Yeah, it's K Mileno. So we didn't have to stretch it after all. Okay. K Mileno. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That was a weird typing. Okay. Tun ma denyi ki chiki dag me ki tani mi che kyang chiki dag ke lemba minla rangi pa men chiki ram de ni tarpa tsam topalan chiki. So now he's going to start on the question of what's the function of emptiness? Do you need it to reach nirvana, for example? It's okay. So he's going to start going into this question. Dun mawa means those who assert a thing, and that's the first two schools, okay? And it's chiro dundumawa. Those who assert the existence of an outer objects. Okay, and then that has to be clarified as dul tren ki zombe chiro dung du mawa. Those who accept outer objects which are composed of partless atoms. Okay, so anyway, you can call, these are scientists. These are people who believe that the periodic chart is the basis of all reality. Periodic chart means the list of the elements like oxygen, iron, So that's the lowest school in Buddhism. Science would be considered the lowest school of Buddhism. They believe reality is based on atoms, which have certain characteristics, and there are elements. Element means you break it down until you reach the smallest unit, which still has a unique characteristic. Iron element is different from, I don't know, gold, for example. Okay. So anyway, Dun Ma is a reference to a grouping of schools who still believe in outer objects composed of partless atoms. And if I were you, I'd go have a footnote.
Yeah.
I would find some place where someone explains it. We can try, okay? I don't know if it's going to be convenient to do it right now, but generally it's better to do it while you're thinking about it. And I really strongly advise you, there's a thing in military, you don't overrun the enemy, and then you have enemy behind you. You just kill. You see what I mean? You don't run in and fight past the enemy, and then suddenly you have enemy behind you and you can't get food from your ships, The same with a book, okay? Like, don't say, I want to translate more, and then leave your footnotes and leave your bibliography, and then you have to go back, and it's not fun, okay? So when you hit a footnote, finish it, and then go on, okay? It's just housekeeping. It's like doing your dishes in the morning. I don't care if you're late for work. Wash your dishes, you'll feel happier later. Okay.
So speaking of footnotes, would
close the door?
for I don't know, posterity. What's that word?
Posterity.
Posterity.
Prosperity.
We like footnote the heck out of what we're doing and then take out footnotes for the published version, right? Like that the readers won't care about.
It's because that also is a waste of time. You don't have time. Trust me. Trust me, you don't have time. You'll be lucky to do 2-3 books in your life. So don't waste time. Don't make a footnote that you're not going to use. And make a footnote that you are going to use. And
So are we using footnotes or not?
Yeah.
of course you are.
Lots.
She just said, should I make a footnote that I don't include in the public version? I said, I don't think so. You decide.
I thought you said before that we were going to make 2 different versions. One of them would be the popular version.
The only difference is that the online version has interspersed Tibetan.
Online version.
Yeah.
Oh, then you can hyper.
Yeah, well, it also allows jealous other groups to pick at your work and find mistakes for you.
And you also taught us it doesn't institutionalize our mistakes.
Right.
Yeah. Now look, I'm going to look for this expression, those who assert a thing, dun ma, near outer, meaning outer object, near chame, which means partless atom, and near the word atom, dul. Okay? So I'm going to, within 2 lines, because I'm hoping to find an explanation of the literal meaning of the word who assert a thing as a reference to the first 2 schools. Okay? In fact, I might even add here chira mawa. Chira. Okay? So I believe, now I'm going to increase this to, let's say 4. And I believe this will help me to hit a classical reference to why are they called Dunmawa. Okay? Why are the first 2 schools called Dunmawa? And I can confirm Geshe-la's guess that it means, okay, not quite guess, informed guess. Okay, here we go. So the Dunmawas, they believe when they decide how does a thing exist outside, that it's Dul Chame Sakpa it must be composed of partless atoms. Okay, so there's one confirmation. And you might make your footnote from this book by Judson Kappa, which ain't too shabby. Or you can have another one. This is definitive. Okay, this is Keduk Tembadarge, his author, and he says, Dun Ma Ni. Now it's even clearer. The two schools which are Dun Mawas, which means the first two schools, Vaibhashikas and Sautranticus. Those two schools believe Duchen Choki Cham Mepa, atoms which are partless as far as direction, meaning there's no left side, there's no right side. It's so tiny, there's no left side and no right side. Of course, we say that's ridiculous. In that case, the left side would be the right side. You know, if you say partless, it can't have a right side and a left side. It has to be so tiny, nothing could cut it. Okay, which we say is impossible, because then the right side would be the left side, and it wouldn't have any width. And if you piled up 1,000,000 of them, it would still not have any width. So we say it's not logical. Okay, and we deny science on that basis. Sakte rakpe chiru dundudu. They believe that outer objects in their gross form are conglomerations of partless atoms which have no direction to them. Okay, now that's a nice footnote for that, and I would use that. Okay, it's folio 163b. That's all I have to tell you of S0022. And in fact, it's actually his text. Yeah.
Nice.
I think. No, I'm sorry, it's not. It's his Madhyamika version. Okay. But anyway, all you need to know is the folio 163b and the catalog number, which is S0022. That's all you need for your footnote. You can piece together a footnote from that. Okay. Dinma Deni, these two Buddhist schools, they believe Chiki Dagmeki Tanya Michekyang, they don't actually use the expression, Tanya means expression, lack of a self-nature to things. They don't actually use those words in their two schools. In those two schools, they don't talk about the lack of a self-nature to things. And English is similar, right? We say itself, but normally when we say self, it means a person. You know, himself, herself, yourself, themself. We do have a word itself, but we don't use it much, okay? Chuki dak kelemba minla, but that, even though they don't use the expression, if pushed, they would not accept a self-nature to things, okay? They don't accept. They don't use the term, but they don't buy it. Rangyupa mencheki rangdeni, and this is that mild disjunctive la. Okay, in Russian they have one, a instead of e. Rangyupa mencheki, the schools from Svatantrika on down, including Svatantrika or not?
Yes.
Okay, important. Menche means including that school on down. Because in English, if you say them on down, it's not clear. Or lower than, I don't know.
Down to
Rang de means those who accept, those whose own school is that, okay? You almost don't have to translate it in English. Those who belong. Those who belong to the schools of, okay? You can say it that way. Those who belong to the schools of Svatantrika on down, independent group. I say group, right? Why group?
Because school, you're saying for the
Yeah, it's not a school. Middle way is a school, and there are two groups inside of the higher. Okay.
Would it be wrong to say up through, even though that's not exactly the meaning, but that's the English that we use? That
You might, but it's Yeah, you could use that, but I wouldn't mess with it. Rangibadni. Now, here's the punchline, okay? This is the important thing that you're going to say in your translation today. Tarpat sam topala. Now, I want you to translate it, not anybody else, okay? Tarpat sam topala. Don't forget sam means just. Chuki dagme tok g. You must tok with an S.
You must realize.
Yeah, chuki dagme.
The
Lack of a self to things, good, in order just to achieve tarpa,
freedom.
Meaning nirvana, okay? They mishe. They don't believe that. They don't accept that. They don't say that, okay? All right? From the lower middle way on down, they don't say that you have to see the emptiness of things to reach nirvana. Okay? What kind of emptiness you do have to see? Yeah, the emptiness of person. Okay? But they don't talk about you have to understand the emptiness of a pen to not get angry at your husband anymore. Okay? They don't say that. Got it? And in fact, the lower two schools don't even use the word. They don't have an expression for the lack of a self to things. Got it? Okay. Which means that a school and a half do.
Mind only.
Mind only and lower middle way. They have the word, but not even they think that you need to see it to reach nirvana. Okay? So among the first 3.5 schools, 2 schools don't even have an expression for the lack of a self nature to things, although if you ask them, they would say, yeah, I don't agree that there's a self to it. And then the mind only, school number 3, and 4A, the first half of the middle way school, they have the word for the lack of a self nature to things, but they don't say you have to see that to reach nirvana. They say it's enough to see the lack of a self-nature to people to reach nirvana. Okay, got it? Why do I have a footnote there? Why did I go get you a footnote there? Oh, I was curious about that Dunma, I think. Okay, I found my own little, I think that's it, yeah.
Cool.
Here. This clarifies what the 2 schools are in question. Chedo.
Sutras.
It's misspelled, by the way, which doesn't help. It's che without a D.
Oh.
The 2, the che's and the dos.
The Chiramawas.
Yeah, Chiramawa and Dodepa. Okay, so I like this quotation because it gives the names of the 2 schools who are... and here's the Bembo that we learned in Adam's text. Physical matter. Matter as opposed to form. Okay. Their version of outer objects, Chidun, is mainly has to do with physical matter. Okay. Okay.
What's the number?
By the way, because they accept that, they are called Dunmawa. Okay, so that's a nice, that's a perfect reference. I went and got it for you. I command X'd it. I command C'd it to get it out of the gopher. And then I command X'd it to get the whole. It's Gungtang Koinjo Tenbei Dunmei Siddhanta text, which is S00918. Okay. And unfortunately, I didn't put the folio number, so you would have to search for. I can give you this. Okay. By the way, there's an important misspelling here somewhere that makes it confusing. So this shouldn't be D, right? And there's another mistake. Something wrong here. Okay, it shouldn't be dewa, which is happiness. Okay. this is okay, the S is okay, it means because of that they're called Dunmawas. Okay? You'd have to go, let me see if I can guess.
It's just a day.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
That's probably DE.
It doesn't make any sense. By the way, this is when we would like to have the A file, B file, C file, D file. A huge archive, a huge massive text where the first typist may have gotten it right and the fourth typist corrected him wrong. Okay?
You want to keep those?
Yeah, for this purpose. If I don't have a scan, and then in the early times, we didn't keep the scans. We couldn't store them. There were too much data. So we gave them back to the guy who carried it out of Tibet, and he lost it on the train, and we don't have the original anymore. So, Torrenty.
That's what I'm looking for on TBRC, right?
Sucks.
Well, I have them somewhere.
Such a minimal.
I can't guess here. I can't guess what it was. Anyway, it's a perfect explanation. Okay, so you'd have to go find the scan, which is nowadays TBRC is so active, and they work so hard. They put text in every single day, and they date it. On the website, it tells you what they did today. Yeah. And I really admire those people. We should have a party with them someday.
We should give them this.
Yeah, if I get a lot of money, I'll give them some. Seriously.
Yeah, because they're struggling.
Well, we invited the director out for this term, but he was too busy. So, let me think about it. So we're teaching Lorne. I mean, I'd like to say Lorne Nungway or something, but I don't know. Okay, and then I found another one. I think. Oh, this is a debate between them and the mind only, okay, about outer things. So don't worry about it. Okay. They believe, who were the last guys we were talking about?
We were talking about
4A down. 4A down. No, they were talking about the first 3.5 schools. Most recently. In the text, we're talking about the last 3.5 schools, the lower 3.5 schools. Okay, they believe if you grasp, okay, that if you grasp no self nature in the form of the person being empty of, okay, if you grasp no self nature in the form of the person being empty of being self-standing, being empty of substantial existence in the sense of being self-standing. Okay, sorry.
Oh, that's a tough sentence.
It is. If you perceive no self-nature in the form of the person being empty of being substantial in the sense of being self-standing. Okay? Sorry. Okay, not only thought, but kom.
meditating.
No, wrong spelling. Kom. Yeah, if you get used to it. Okay, that's enough. Samki, just that. Okay, meaning without seeing the emptiness of things. Okay, if you do no more than that, samki, tarpa tobnu. You would be able to reach nirvana. That's what they say.
Oh, Nupar.
Yeah, you would be able. Shade, that's what they say. So now we've covered the beliefs of the lower 2 schools, then we covered the beliefs of the 3.5 schools, and what will come next? Yeah, now what does 4B think? What does the Tengyurwa think? What do they think you have to see to reach nirvana? Okay, this is where it gets easy. Okay, the Prasangikas say, the Prasangikas deny Mishe. Okay, the Prasangikas deny that you would be nupa,
Able to
that you would be able to
attain.
to attain tarpa,
Freedom.
without understanding, without grasping.
Understanding or without realizing?
Yeah.
They just said realizing, okay? They didn't say directly. Without realizing, nika,
The two.
both.
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 Sorry, both.
The lack of a self to things and the lack of a self to people. They say you can't reach nirvana if you don't realize both. Okay?
Great.
Okay? Now you've got three possibilities. First two schools think something, 3.5 schools think something, last half school thinks something. Okay? First two schools don't even use the word the lack of a self nature to things. Although if you push them, they would say, yeah, they don't have a self. 3.5 schools believe,
You don't have to see the lack of
yeah,
things.
that exists, but you wouldn't have to see it to reach nirvana. And the fourth school says you'd have to see both. Okay?
When they say lack of a self to things, is that does other people other than yourself fall under things or people?
Things.
It does, right? Yeah. It's
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, it's other people are part of my heap of form, actually. Okay. And there's this weird argument that because they talk or something like that. So anyway, let's not go there.
Well, what does it fall into lack of?
Say again.
For a person, I mean, if we're doing it from the point of view of our own experience,
Well, those would be called parts of us.
yeah. So what's a thing then?
Even your finger is a thing. Your own finger is a thing.
Oh, I thought it was.
Utpala is self. Okay. Chiramawa kachik. Some of the Vaibhashika, meaning there's going to be other Vaibhashika. Okay. Some of the Vaibhashikas say, Kansa Tachik Rangwan Chen. Okay. Who had that expression?
Me.
Oh, it was you, okay. The Tokpa spelled without an S.
That's
You can say idea. It's not quite so strong as delusion, but it's close. Okay? The idea that the person, Kansak, is Tak, is Ching, is Rangwang Chen. Okay? The idea where you believe, Zin, that the person is unchanging, singular, and in control. Okay?
That is.
2. This is a Dani grammar case where you hold that they are or as being. Okay, so that's the Dani grammar case. We elected him as president.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, Dangjin.
It's hard to hold.
They believe Döpa. Okay, second line. They believe. Now this gets really sexy. Is your wrong belief something you were born with? Or is your wrong belief something you developed after you were born? And this is a very important distinction in the higher schools of Buddhism. Okay, Henge, I think it's Sujata, came along with being born. You know, you had it from birth. Okay, it's called Henge. Hlen means built in. It's part of you when you're born. Then Kuntak, in this sense, okay, Kuntak in this division, in this contradistinction between Klenge and Kuntak, okay, Kuntak means learned in your lifetime, picked up during your lifetime, since you were a teenager or something you developed later. There's like diabetes you're born with, and there's diabetes, late onset diabetes. Kuntak is late onset. Okay, and it means, literally, and it's spelled many different ways. It probably means glued onto you later. Okay, like dok. Okay, but sometimes it's spelled with a BRT, which would mean comes with thinking, or comes with consideration. So you'd have to look at the Sanskrit. okay, which we might as well do since. Okay, so is it kuntak? Okay, look, or is it kuntak? Big difference. And this is as opposed to.
In the mind only school.
No, as opposed to. Yeah, Senke, inborn, built in, born with. Okay, and this is an important subject in Buddhism. You know, which wrong ideas are you born with, and which wrong ideas did you learn in your lifetime?
So would you want to search them close to Lenke to get the kind of kuntak that we're looking for?
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea, but it might not be that way in the dictionary. So here it's parikalpa, but I don't like the spelling. Because kalpa means to consider.
But vikalpa means imagination. So it's
Yeah. See, see here it's both spellings.
vikalpa.
Here you got both spellings. Okay, thanks a lot. Okay. What you might do, I mean, I believe this is the correct spelling. Okay. But it's not the spelling our author used. Okay.
Without the sa.
Without the ra. You see?
Without the ra.
BRT. And this is the past tense of dog, meaning to connect or to glue on. And BRT is the past tense of to consider, vikalpa. So probably BRT is correct. Okay. We could, now this is where Phil's database is going to come in handy when it comes out, because we'll be able to go to the works of Tsongkhapa and see what he used. So did he use kuntak or did he use kuntak? Okay. Near Senge as Utpala suggested. Okay. Within 2 lines maybe. And then it'd be nice to just go to a book by Tsongkhapa. So let's do that. We're gonna go search. We're gonna limit ourselves to a book by, let's go to Madhyamika, okay? And let's go to commentaries. Let's go to,
Suppose there's not a Jason Kappa photo.
oopsie.
Maybe an may.
That's irritating. How about commentaries to, sorry, Umla Jupa. Here we'll hit Gombarab cell. Okay, so in the text I just showed you that I'm working on, how does Jetson Kappa spell it? Because that's the one we're going to buy. And I don't care. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
BR.
It's Kun Bretox, but it's not Senke. That's a good example. Okay. Okay.
So would we also make a footnote about that?
I would. Yeah. Now BTAGS I think became a monastic standard, and it's wrong, or it's not the best. Okay, got it? Because BRT has this kalpa root, vikalpa, meaning to consider. Okay. I was trying to struggle with a cognate for kalpa. Kvelp. Consider maybe, I don't know. No. I could show you how to go to Indo-European roots if you really wanted.
I would love that.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
You're over on time. I'm only telling you that after you.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we're not? I'm sorry.
Okay, if you want to go see,
24 minutes.
if you want to go deeper, okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, if you don't want to go too deep. Sorry, let's do it with the gopher. Okay, general Sanskrit roots. Okay,
Yes.
kelp,
Colt.
kelp. Okay, you go to Whitney's roots, Dwight Whitney, which is incomparable,
Yeah.
extraordinary. Okay, and there you go. Okay. The ultimate root for consider is to be adapted. Okay, kulp.
Colt.
And here are derivatives of it. Kalpakal, kalpana.
I don't have that.
Okay, these are his roots. Then he makes he makes very good notes. With this root are apparently related kerp, because R and L in Sanskrit are basically interchangeable. Okay, so if you're looking for an English cognate, you can also look at kerp. Kulp and kerp. So L's and R's in Sanskrit are interchangeable. Okay, roch and loch, same meaning, to be light, to be shining. Ruchyate. Okay, so if you're not satisfied with that, if you can't come up with an English cognate from that, you can go older.
Can you share this? I don't.
Yeah,
I don't have this.
it's in your database.
It's in the reference.
Whitney.
But then you can go later. You can go.
You're gonna have me
We'll
find
find
that
it.
sometime.
You can go earlier.
I need that.
It's in the database. Yeah.
Okay.
You can go later
Yeah.
to the Indo-Europeans,
Okay.
and all I have is a scan. So that's under scans. It's a very major work on. Where do I have that?
We're about to see.
It's in Sanskrit. Yeah, here, Indo-European roots. Okay, and you can use this one. Okay, this is a nice. This is a nice book. And I just searched the PDF, okay? So you can say clip and see what you get. And it's a little slow because it's a...
PDF. Oh, it's doing OCR.
And you don't get one there. You can try kerp.
Would it be too much to ask of Sonom that they input this? Or would it be
It's a bitch.
Would it be maybe Santosh and them could do it because they're more Sanskrit.
I might just go down to the KLs. Okay, we better blow it up
Oh,
a
it's not a
bit.
very good
So
scan.
amazing
It's
to have
like-
input though. Right? Is it not worth it?
It'd be fine. We could do it. Okay.
So cool.
So you go down to the.
Copy it.
You go down to KEL, okay?
OCR.
OCR is funny about diacritics in.
Oh, it's a mess. Yeah. It may be related to kel in the meaning of to divide mentally. So clip may come from it.
Right.
Ah.
Okay.
To clip.
And yeah, to clip.
That's cool.
I don't think there's any KELPs. Here's KER. I like the little notes he has sometimes. Career to grow. This is Krishna, by the way, and cereal. KER. Like karma comes from that.
Right.
It's not really KER.
Say again?
It's more like kosher.
Sorry?
Oh, we can't really spell it in English. The real sound.
Around the time of Shakespeare, the K's changed to C, the hard K to a hard C, you know. Anyway. But that's why cereal is related to karma, or crescent, or Krishna. Okay, so anyway, here we got into the KLs, and we're looking for maybe a KL. There's klung. Here we go. Kulp. This is kleptomaniac. Okay, not related to kulpita, or maybe it is. I don't know. To steal. Is there any crep? So you gotta go looking around.
You
Roof.
just sit and read this for fun.
Yeah, you know, there's people who.
Pretty awesome.
There's people who. There's Bible scholars, especially Strong, who spent his whole life looking up these things for the Bible, because he believed that these roots were important, that Jesus meant these roots to be significant in the Bible. So Strong's Concordance is a good source for linguistics, you know. Anyway, you could spend some time on that.
There's this course I took.
I would say it's probably related to clip,
Yeah.
which is kleptomaniac means
Take from.
to steal.
Separate from.
Clip somebody's purse, you know. And then vitarka, to divide meanings, to snip meanings, like that. Kind of cool. Yes.
Oh, there's this course I took at Harvard where we would have like 6 people in a room who were, you know, they're pretty high in government and whatnot, and we talk about problems that they had, trying to get things working using government, and then one person would be like just watching, listening, and they would write down the words that were used most often as the person described the problem. Then we would take those words, find their Indo-European, their roots, and we would look at the root. And inevitably, what was in the root of what they were speaking was the way out of their problem.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Isn't that cool?
Wow, linguistic problem solving.
It's very cool.
That's kind
We
of
know
deep.
more than we
it's really
think we do.
By the way, there's an argument that the word Indo-European was created by the British to justify their presence in India. But anyway,
Makes sense.
where were we? Chidamawa Kajik. So, some. Do we still have any time?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Some of the Vaibhashikas believe, that the idea, meaning wrong, tokpa, no s, the idea or the thought that holds that the person is unchanging, singular, and independent. Okay. That's the inborn version of holding to the self of a person. That's the one you're born with. That's the one you're born with. Some Vaibhashikas say that. You know. Kachik, rang. This might be dung.
Oh, yeah.
Not sure.
Kachik Ram.
Yeah, I don't believe wrong though. Go down. Go this way. Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
This way must still.
Oh no, you're right. We're above here.
Okay.
Slow down. I don't see it. Go up. We're getting close.
Okay.
Oh, this is it. Next line after that, over here. I take it as dung.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll take it as kachik dung.
Blurry R. Blurry D.
It's not great. Yeah.
Which would, if I'm going to read it as kachik dung, the carving is kind of halfway between. I take it as the rest of the Vaibhashikas and the
Sutras.
yeah, I'll take this as dung. And maybe we find another carving someday. Okay? And those on down from the Sautrantikas, okay? Believe, this key means, this key, K-Y-I-S, goes with she over here. They say, and then there's the end quotation mark here, okay? They say the following, and you start your, Tibetan doesn't have a beginning quotation mark. It just has the second one. Then you have to guess where the first quotation mark is. Okay? But I would start the quotation mark after this key. Okay? They say, okay, quote, Dayina, dancing kundayin bekyap. If something is that, meaning the wrong idea where you hold to the person as being unchanging, singular, and independent, okay? That's all referring, this day
Is referring to everything.
refers to everything from Kangsak to Dokpa, okay? They say that if something is that, it must be the Kuntag version of Kyam Dangtin.
The learned version.
Yeah, the learned version. Learn means you went to a class on Buddhism and some Lama gave a bad explanation and you learned some wrong idea. That's Kuntag, as opposed to Senke, okay? Which is inborn. You were born with it, okay? So the first half of the first goal thinks that the tendency to see the person as being unchanging, singular, and independent, and we learned the definition of those three already in her book, okay, is something that's inborn in everybody. And half the Vaibhashika and all of the Sautrantika believe it's developed later in life, late onset. Okay, got it?
They don't think it's that they have both.
And then not only that, kya, it's always the case. They say it's always the case that you develop it later. Okay. You all right? You still with me?
Yes.
Okay, you're brave. Well, I'm not so sure, but anyway, Kansak Rang Kya, right? Misspelled. Tupid Zayud Zimbe Topala. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Now we're on a different subject. We treated Tak, Chik, Rawang Chen, but we didn't treat Rang Kya Tupa, self-standing, which is kind of close to independent, right? But anyway, in this text, we're getting that as a separate quality,
Right.
non-existent quality, which is separate zero. Okay, Rang Kya Tupa, self-standing. Okay. This law means slight disjunctive, right? So they believe the tendency to see the person as unchanging, singular, or independent is something you learn later in life. Okay?
So a slight disjunctive. What do you mean by that?
Whereas instead of but. But is a strong disjunctive. This guy believes that, but this guy believes that. And then whereas is a little bit softer.
Okay.
Okay? It could have been key, you see?
Okay.
It could have been KYI, and it would have been more of a strong disjunction.
Okay.
Okay? Because this is confusing because la can be a conjunction.
Right.
And dung. Sometimes la means dung, sometimes la means ki, is what I'm saying.
When you say doing in kyang,
What's that?
ki or kyang?
Both, same thing. Yeah, but, where, okay. See, one is a strong disjunctive. They believe that, but these guys believe that. But when you say these guys believe that, whereas these guys believe that, it's a little softer.
Is law ever something that just marks that, okay, I'm like, take what
Sometimes
came
it just
before
means
is-
and. Sometimes it just means and.
Does it ever mean comma?
I think it seems like it does.
You can
Like
say
marking off the
almost,
subjects
almost, but not very often.
Not very often.
Did you say what?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it's worth saying
Now,
what case it would be if it's being, if it's, is it second, fourth, or seventh when it's acting as...
conjunctions don't get to be in any of those.
Oh.
'Cause
Yeah,
they're words.
KYI
They're words.
is not a genitive used as a disjunctive. It's a separate word.
Right.
Okay.
Or even like when you say joki yin or
But
something.
not with law, right? No? Is law is a separate...
Yeah, in this case, it doesn't belong to the
Any of the
conjunction, to the declensions.
Ouch.
yeah. It's a separate grammar particle. It's like and is not a declension, right?
It's
Anomalous.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Guess he's going to be editing
Sheila.
the hypertext then.
Kansa rangya tupe zeyu de zimbe topa. So now they're talking about the wrong idea, which holds the person to be self-standing.
Yes.
Okay, which we haven't covered yet.
Right.
Okay, got it? We covered three qualities. What were they? Dark, unchanging, singular, independent. But we didn't talk about self-standing yet. Now, how do they feel about self? Kazaragya tupe zeyu de zimbe topala. They say, for the most part, okay, kapchewar, for the most part, meaning there are guys who don't agree. There are single guys who don't agree, okay? Kapchewar, for the most part, they believe, and I think he's still talking about the school and a half, some of the Vaibhajikas and all the Sautrantikas, okay? They believe that's the inborn version. Okay? And this is where you got to go meditate on it and say, is it more likely that even as a small child, I would have seen things as self-standing, but not as unchanging? You know, it's in my own self, in my own being. Am I more likely as a child, right? We call unexamined, right? Without being asked. Did I have this feeling that things were self-standing, but I didn't have this feeling that things were unchanging? You see, because that's what they say you do.
Yeah.
Because that's what they say you do, and what's their justification for that? You know, so you have to examine it in your meditation, and that's why this is a book on emptiness meditation. Okay,
Wow.
you have to go examine what's the difference. And the only real place to examine it is during your meditations. And if you don't meditate every day, you won't have a chance to do that.
So I could have an appendix that would list the meditations and where they are in the text.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, this one is supposed to be fruitless.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But it would reveal why those schools had that idea.
Right.
Okay? And to do this meditation, you would have to have a very clear distinction in your mind between self-standing and independent, which I don't, okay? But maybe you can. Okay? Then he does this Lungi Drupa. He quotes a book to support himself. Okay, he quotes the Tongtun Chemo,
Earlier.
the great book called An Interlude on Emptiness. Okay. By the way, it means I believe there were lesser Tongtuns running around. But you know, you might have to check that. Chirab Mawane, from the Vaibhashika up to Umarangyupas. Okay. The independent group of the mind-only school, okay, middle way school, which involves both Mahayana and Hinayana, Tepa Chechung. Okay, those people, Rangde, we're gonna think about it as those who belong to those groups. Rangde, own group, meaning those who belong to those groups. Sui Luglayang, doesn't matter who you're talking about among those. Okay? Doesn't matter. Sui Luglayang, doesn't matter which particular school you're talking about in that group. Okay? Sui Luglayang, Kansa Rangya Tu Bezeyu de Zimbani. This and only this, the tendency to believe that the person is substantial in the sense of self-standing. Because we've had substantial in the sense of being independent, okay? That and only that, nid, okay? That and only that is they believe, okay? Now, go slow. They believe is the zintang. So this is a new word that you have to learn, zintang. Okay. Tang means almost the classical place that a lama will take you to learn the word tang is in the gait of a horse.
Oh.
Okay. They're gyuktang. Duktang means how do you do it? Okay. What horses can run like this, or they can run like this. So different way of running, right? When you hit them, they but before you hit them, they're going dig, 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 dig. That's all called tang. Like a dance, when you perform a dance and you're going dig, 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 or you're going dig, 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 or you're going dig, 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 dig. These are all tangs. These are
Steps.
I don't know.
Gates.
They are gates, yeah. But here, it's zintang, means in the study of perception. Zintang means what's your take on it? Okay, how do you hold, what's your feeling as you hold the object? Okay. How do you take it? Okay, we'll talk more about it. But anyway, Zintangi Yo means what is it? What is it that you feel is there? Okay, Zintangi. How do you take it? So a normal person, Zintangi Yo for a pen?
It's a pen.
It's out there on its own.
Coming this way. Okay, that's called how they take it. It doesn't mean do they see your pen or not. It's not talking about that. It's what's their
The ontological status of the pen.
yeah. What's their feeling? No. In English we say what's their take on the pen. You know, if you say how do you is the pen their object? Yes, that's not Zintangi Yo. Okay? Zintangi Yo means how do they take it? The pen which is coming from its own side is the Zintangi Yo. Okay?
So it's related to how it exists.
No, it's related to how they see it. It's not related to whether they see it. Okay? Object of perception. That's not Zentangi Yo.
Okay.
It's the object they think they see.
Is it related to how they like it or not?
No. Usually in Buddhist philosophy, it's how they feel it exists. Do they think it's coming from its own side? Do they think it's coming from their side? And if you want to go deeper, that's distinguished from a shenyu. Okay? No, how they want it to be. Okay? Shenpa Shidra, right? It's 4 attachments. So that's where shenyu means a pen that has to come from its own side. Stronger than a Zindangi-yo. It lies under a Zindangi-yo. Okay, so there's the Tokpe-yo, the object of perception, which is a pen. Zindangi-yo, a pen that you perceive as coming from its own side. Then Shenyo, which one do you really want it to be? You see? And those are 3 levels of a single object.
Wow.
Okay, cool. Whoa.
Very cool.
Kangsaki.
Shen is GCH.
Z-H-E-N. Z-H-E-N. Shen. Shen.
Not GCH.
No. That's other. Yeah. Z-H-E-N means to have a strong attachment to something.
Are there meditations on emptiness related to each of these levels?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, whether the teacher takes you from discussions to meditations depends on the quality of the teacher, you know. Some teachers just take you for years just through the books and they don't encourage you to try to feel it. Okay, anyway.
The time has arrived.
Tanzan Klengi ki Tindanga Yimbar de La Shedang. Okay, Shedang means he just finished quoting the Tongtung Chemo of Keduje, I believe it is. Yeah. And somehow that quotation is going to back up what he said in the last paragraph. And you have to confirm that. And you have to go find the quotation. And I'm not sure we have this book in, which would be frustrating.
But you have a whole bunch of them, right?
Which one are we looking for now? The Kejupche book? I'm sure we can find it, yeah. I think we have all his works, and whether or not they're in the database, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we should have all of those guys' works in, right?
In fact, I'm 90% sure his books are not 100% in the database.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But they're on my desktop. I can find it.
Can we have a separate folder in our translation?
Well, we should just put them in.
Yes.
Actually.
Yeah, we should just put them in. After this term is over, I will get to work on it. Or me and Adam will do it.
Yeah, it's not in the database. Yeah, which is a shame, which is a crime. Which is a crime.
Yeah, well, we were talking about it before the term started, actually.
Yeah.
So
we'll do it.
We could go into the uncatalog, right? Where are we? Hopefully it's in here, I think.
It wasn't the last time we looked. Was it?
That's your book.
I sent it to her separately.
Here you go. That's Kerubji.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You don't What's the WK number on that one?
That's just an old uncatalog thing.
Correct, so I can look it up.
You could do that too.
Is that I1 KG956?
I can theoretically find it for you right now in an easier way.
By the way, he has quoted it exactly, which, as we've seen, is kind of unusual, right? Okay. And there's some sexy stuff just following it that might be helpful to you. Okay. Which is why we go look it up. Thank God for the database.
What was the term that you searched for?
Dangjin Plengeki Jindang.
It's up on the top of the window. Shows you the search
Oh, look at
terms.
that.
Really?
Yeah. Up on the top of the
Up
window.
here. So remind me what's STANGS? Stung?
It's how you hold it.
Holding strongly.
It's the it's the, how do you want to call that? Aspect? Something like that. Okay. Gyukdang. Gyuk means to run, right? And gyukdang means, is it this, or is it this, or is it this? Or, how's the tongue?
Okay, I found it here.
Difficult word to describe. Okay, we stopped here. Whether we're able to do any between terms is I think I gotta work on. I'll try next week to work a little bit on your translations. Okay, it's probably easier for me if I get all your translation first, and then tear it up. Then I don't have to tear it up twice and it saves me time. Okay.
So when would you like those?
I don't know. Give it to me. Just keep at the same pace, which would mean by Tuesday or something.
Yes.
On
Monday or
Tuesday to have it done.
Yeah, your first translation, and then
Based on what we've been able to.
yeah, and then I have a week before I have to travel, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see how much I can do.
Geshe, later, when we're leaving tomorrow, some of us, so are you going to tell us that what we should do after this term?
Yeah, I didn't think about it yet. So,
Should we take a 10-minute break?
yeah, I need to
Yeah.
visit my uncle.
Send our regards.
Sashi.
Sangye Shindu Mikte Uwargi Roku Namdak Shingla Chuparsho Inam Guru Ratna Mandana Kamneyatayami Di Kewokun Sanam Yeshe Tsokso Shing Sanam Yeshe Lejungwei Tamba Kuni Toparsho. Yay!